Second game of AFL Saturday, Geelong Cats hosting the Gold Coast Suns. Now, the Suns have never won at GMHBA Stadium, and they're going to have to wait another year because Geelong are going to win this game as the home favourite. They'll cover the line, and the game total is expected to go over. There's not really any value on Bailey Smith to reach 30 plus disposals. He's the current odds leader in the Brownlow. But I think Oliver Dempsey to kick multiple goals is a good pick in this one. He's kicked multiple goals in 8 of 12 games so far this season. You're getting a good number on Dempsey. So they're our top 3 picks for this game. Let's dive in a little bit to why I don't think the Suns will be able to get up over Geelong in this matchup. Now, just as an AFL-wide trend, favourites are winning 71% of the games so far this year. So automatically it's 1-0 to Geelong in that aspect. One of the biggest things I took out of last weekend's games, and it was the Fremantle and the Gold Coast Suns, is when the Suns were pressured in their back half by the Fremantle forwards that were tackling at a high rate, they kind of fell apart and it disrupted their game plan and how they were able to move the ball around to generate their push forward and their scoring. Geelong are also one of these good forward defensive teams. They can put a lot of pressure on in their forward 50. And I think that will do enough to disrupt the Gold Coast Suns' movement out of their back line and do enough to just make it difficult for them in a game where it's likely to be very close. Now, the Suns could definitely come out of this game with a win and break the trend of not winning at GMHBA. But I think you have to go with the overwhelming evidence in front of you that the Cats are a better team at this ground and they have the skill set and the know-how, I think, from the coaching aspect to put enough pressure on Gold Coast to ruffle their feathers a little bit. The Cats will still need to perform better around stoppages because that's where Gold Coast have a much higher hit rate than what Geelong do. They will dominate stoppages and the midfield area. Now, they're getting likely back Patrick Dangerfield, the Cats this weekend, which will do a lot to boost their confidence in that midfield area. And he'll have to have a really good game in this matchup for the Cats to win. But I think they don't need to win the midfield. They just need to not let the Gold Coast be extremely dominant because the Cats will be able to dominate their forward 50, both in attack and defense. As I said, take Geelong to cover at home. It's likely to go over the game total. The Cats, they're the top-ranked team in tackles inside 50. So that's just the main stat I took out of into this game. The tackling pressure severely affected the Suns last week against the Dockers. 75% of both of these teams' games this season have finished with a 1-39 margin, so I expect it to be close. And as I said, Dempsey, he has scored multiple goals in 8 of 12 games this season. The numbers for Jazza were just not good enough for me to back him for 3 or 4 goals. It's the exponential of that all was not good. Get Dempsey, he'll be in and around there, and 2 goals is easy work for him in this one. Stick around for more AFL here on the bets.com.au channel.